Hey everybody, it's Kieran here, and my friend Dude is here as well. G'day everyone. Okay, what we're going to do is see how you can use VS Code to make a page like this. So imagine that this was an assignment or something you have to make. First thing I do is I create a folder for the exercise. So every exercise should have its own folder. Very important, otherwise you're going to make things harder for yourself when files collide. So imagine that this is the directory, the folder I'm going to use for all of my MIS 1050 stuff. So I'm going to make a new folder. Actually, I'll just use this button up here and I'll call it goats. There we go, that's fine. Okay, and I'll open that folder. Right now it has nothing in it. All the files will go here. Okay, let's start Visual Studio Code. Here it is. By the way, you can download it from here, code.visualstudio.com. I'll put a link to that after this video. And you can download it for PCs and Macs and Linux too if you're into that sort of thing. Hi, what's it cost? Well, dude, it's free. Free is good. Yeah, bloody crikey. All right, so I've started it up here. There are several parts to the screen. Over on this side over here is the palette of tools you can select. And if you choose one, it changes what this window does. So this is the Explorer, that's where you find stuff. This is for extensions and other things. Almost always you'll be in the Explorer mode here, but you may choose some others as well. All right, so let's make a file. Oh, sorry, I forgot I got to open the folder. So I'll click Open Folder, and I select the folder that I made earlier. Actually, here's a quick trick if you're a Windows person. I'll go find that directory that I made. Here it is in Windows Explorer. I'll copy this. So I'm copying the path. This particular folder is on the D drive, in the temp folder, in the MIS 1050 folder, and then in goats. So goats is the name of the exercise in the MIS 1050 folder. So I'll highlight this address, I'll copy it. Now I'm going to shrink that. I can go back to here and I can actually paste that in here. Okay, so I'm going to open the folder, and this is where we're going to put all of the exercises. That's the folder, and it'll show up here in the Explorer. Now, what you see here in the Explorer is exactly the same as what you see here. It's just a picture of the same files. Right now there isn't any. So if you want to add a file like a picture, you can copy it in Windows Explorer, put it there, or you can move it into here as we'll be doing later. This is how it starts, and we're going to add a new file. And let me call this one goats.html. So the extension is important. It tells Visual Studio Code will look at that, and so it'll know what type of file it is and what sort of help to give you. Visual Studio Code is a very cool thing. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. All right, now I'm going to save it there. So say I want a new file. It's in the right place here. See that? So I'll just create file. There we go. Now over here in Explorer, you see there's goats.html. If I go to this view, back to Windows File Explorer, there's the file as well. All right, back to VS Code. All right, one thing you should note too, all file names should be lowercase, all folder names should be lowercase. If you want to put separate words, say I wanted to make a file, say I'll make a new text file and I'll save it, and I want to call it, let's say, goats are cool or something like that. I wouldn't do this, goats are cool. Don't do that. Spaces probably will work, Sometimes they don't. So depending on the situation. So make sure you use dashes instead of spaces. So it's all lowercase, dashes instead of spaces. If you don't follow those rules, you're going to run into trouble and you won't know why. All right, so I'm just going to close that. Okay, so here we are with goats. All right, for the course, I've given you templates of basic HTML you can paste to make your life a bit easier. So I'm going to go back to my browser. Here is our textbook for the class. All right, and the lesson page structure is under basic handmade sites. See that there? So down here is page structure. There's a template you can copy. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste this into Visual Studio Code. You can type it all if you want, but why bother? All right, there it is. Notice a couple of things. The color coding. VS Code uses color to identify different types of things, and it also uses red to show you when there's been an error. Not so much these ones, but a different red. So let's say that I took out this one line, and instead of doing that, I'll type something very strange like that. What the heck is going on here? It says to me. Try to get it right. Okay. So that's an invalid tag. There is no such thing. And you can see that this is red here. So it's showing me something up here above this point is broken. So if you see this red text, then you know you've got a problem. Don't even bother trying to look at the result until you fix these sorts of things. So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to hit Control Z a few times. This is undo, and Control Z is your friend. It will, eventually show you. I went too far, so I Control Shift Z to re-execute, and it'll eventually show you that. So that looks pretty cool, but wouldn't it be nice if we could see what this looks like in a browser? Well, you can. I've installed an extension called Preview, and if I activate it, we'll actually split the screen and show you what this page looks like over here. To install extensions, you use this. See that extensions button? And then you can find the extension that you're looking for. So I'm going to type in Preview, and I've already got one installed. It's called Live Preview there. This is the one you want. You won't have it installed yet, but go into there, type Live Preview, and it's a very useful thing. Okay, I'm going to go back to here, seeing I've already got it installed. Now, how do we activate it? There are a couple of ways, but one way is to hit Control Shift P or Command Shift P on a Mac, and then you can type Preview. So this is the command palette thing that they give you, and I'll type Preview there. You can assign this to a shortcut key if you want. I'm not going to bother, and then I'll hit Enter. Over here we see a preview of what the page is going to look like. But what's really cool is this, as I change this, see that? You get to preview and see what this would look like in a browser. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that line. Control Y is a shortcut for that, and if you use shortcuts, your life will be easier. I'll hit Enter. Another thing to notice is the indenting. Lines 5, 6, and 7 are indented, showing that that's inside the head element. Okay. Here's the body element. I'm going to put a heading in here. The indentation helps me see what's inside what. If you want me to give you help with your code during the semester, make sure you indent it first, because otherwise I won't be able to tell what's going on. All right, now we're going to use the H1 tag to make a heading. So watch what happens. I hit H. Look at this. VS Code shows us the things it knows about that begin with H. Well, H1 is the one I want, so I'll just hit Enter. And notice it fills in the rest of the tag. This is called IntelliSense, and it makes your life a lot easier. So we're going to put goats. Okay. Now I'm going to hit P. Look at that. Goats are cool, which they are. Not as cool as dogs, but still. All right, now let's put in an image. on the web, images are actually in separate files. So I've already got a goat image here, and I'm just going to drag it into here. All right, so I just dragged it up here to separate file as all images are. If we look at this, this is the file explorer, right? And you can see that the folder now has two files in it. So remember, this and the explorer are equivalent. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to close this. Oh, actually, I'll show you, I should have showed you something else there that's very cool. So I'm going to open this. So here we've got this welcome tab. I'll close that. So here are the two tabs, the two files we've got open, and over here is the preview. Well, wouldn't it be nice to be able to see both of these at the same time? This will come in very handy, especially later in the course when you're dealing with CSS. I can right click on the tab here and split down, up, left, or right. So I'll split down. So this opens a new pane here and lets me see different files or the same file in both panes if I want. So that turns out to be a very useful thing. I'll just leave that open for, no, I won't. I'll just close that because it's annoying me a bit to see all that animation there. All right, now I'm going to insert an image tag. So P, I'm going to put the image inside there, hit tab. Ooh, look at that. I'll put the image tab here. Notice I hit enter, automatic indenting. IMG is the tag that shows you images. So IMG, I'll hit tab or enter, and these are the required fields for IMG, and VS Code has put the cursor right in there where I give it the name of the file. Now the name of the file is pikagoat.gif. So I'm going to type P, and look at that. VS Code knows that this one exists, and so it offers me that as the first choice, and that is in fact what I want. And the preview updates and everything is cool. I'll put, oops, I'll go to the alt and I'll put goat. All right, so this is what it looks like so far, and that's pretty much, that's what we want. Okay, so it looks okay in the preview here. I'm going to save it, Control S or Command S. One thing to notice is if you look at this see that dot? That means the file hasn't been saved yet. Okay, so if you look at something in the browser, it doesn't look right. Go back to here, Control Command S, and now you can see there's no dot there, so it's been saved. Okay. Now I want to, so it looks as if it's okay, but before I upload it, and we won't be going through that in this video, it'll be another one, I want to check that it actually works. So I'm going to go back to this thing here. All right, I'm going to double click on this file. Remember, that's the same one that's open in VS Code. In the I use Firefox, so Firefox should open it and show it to me. Let's see if it works. Wow, look at that! Perfection itself, along with a very cute goat. So download VS Code, install it. Remember that you should make a separate folder for every project. So this is an exercise called goats, for example. I put all of the files for that project inside the same folder. Then you can start VS Code. Rather than starting code from typing everything from scratch, you can if you want. I give you some templates. So here in the lesson page structure, under beginning basic handmade sites, copy this and paste it in. Different parts of the course have different templates. You'll see another one later on. So I pasted that in. I used VS Code's very cool formatting IntelliSense to do things like P and then hit tab or enter, and it fills in those details. Control Y, by the way, deletes a line. I can tell that I haven't saved this because I've got this thing up here. Command S saves it. And remember to download this particular extension. If you go up here, type preview, and you can select live preview. That's the one you want. All right, and also remember lowercase for file names, lowercase for folder names, no spaces, use dashes instead. So I'll see you later. Bye.